And also audio. So if I leave the room and everybody here keeps talking, that's all recorded. It's often useful to keep that in mind, as some grade 12s once told me. Mr. Newfield, can you go back and erase the last 10 minutes while you were gone? And is anybody not done the ATLs? A couple people? I'm going to go set up a demo. So, I've got the snorkel working. It's on blast shield. Yes?
I think me and Mick, you part one of this lab, then at lunch, you part
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you didn't, how many of you didn't do part one last day on family? So you will be able to do that today at lunch. I've reserved the lab. I've also got some snacks. They refuse to make sandwiches. Their reasoning is every time they make sandwiches, the students don't like them because they're really picky, and so they've kind of given up, which probably fair. But they say they have substantial snacks. So if you come here right for lunch, there should be some food. You're not allowed to eat in the lab, but you can eat it in here and work in the lab. If you think the lineup's not too long, you can run there, get a quick lunch, and come here. That's fine too. I'll be here till about 2 o'clock.
Thank you.
Okay, this is potassium chlorate. We have to get a special license just to have this in the lab. It's not actually present in a lot of high schools because you have to do a fair bit to be able to get it. You actually have an investigation by CSIS. What's CSIS? Canadian CIA. How many of you didn't know that? That's why the Canadian CIA is better. They're more secret. And what they're doing is making sure that we're not a terrorist group that's going to blow up something, because you can make a lot of bombs out of this. You can definitely make gunpowder. It's pretty easy to make gunpowder with potassium chloride. And one of the reasons that chemists love it is that, what's your most hated gummy bear color?
Purple.
We have orange, yellow, and green.
Yellow.
Green.
No.
Green.
Yellow was loudest and first. Yellow's going down. The reason that teachers do like it when they get a hold of it is that it reacts explosively with a gummy bear. And I forgot my So, ready? And absolutely nothing happens. And why would it? Because we're missing an essential ingredient. I wasn't expecting anything to happen. We actually have to add that ingredient to it. Potassium chloride all over my fingers. I better not react. One of the things we need to do is add a little something to it. Not another chemical, but this is to introduce the next topic about reactions. A forest will burn itself, but it won't start burning on its own. What does it need? Pardon?
Fire.
It needs some fire. It needs a match, a magnifying glass to concentrate the sun's heat. It needs something, that should be enough, to provide what's called the activation energy. Every reaction requires a little bit of activation energy in order to go. Now, some reactions just go like that because the activation energy is present in the room. For this one, it's not. But we are going to make the gummy bear scream. So, if everybody could follow me.
Until I get it right. Okay.
Only started doing this the second proper. Keeps me hydrated.
Maybe gonna get taller.
Alright, we'll see, we'll see.
What if I do?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yo, where's my pencil? I actually lost balance.
Still can't say nine.
Did you check your answers so far? Why?
Not spelled.
I just saw you like
It's not its
days.
spelled, but.
No.
Draw a diagram of what happened.
Just do two and two. No?
Have you not done this?
No?
This?
Oh, I see, that's the three.
I did this in like an hour.
Well, I balanced it.
Okay, I don't have this.
Okay. One of the things that happened. Why are you running your phone? Oh, doing the form? Oh, okay. Sorry. That's good. I should reward. The reaction that we had involved KClO3 and a gummy bear. What essentially is a gummy bear? Sugar. Basically sugar, sugar and gel. So C6H12O6 is my standard for sugar because that's glucose and that's what sugar fundamentally is. In many cases, or what your body wants to turn it into. But KClO3 is, the reason it's used in explosives and it's in rocket fuel is that it breaks down into KCl, potassium chloride, and matter can either be created or destroyed. What element am I missing when it breaks down into that? Well, oxygen. We don't know what form it's going to take. The form it actually ends up taking, you have to balance it, is oxygen gas. If you want your campfire's not going, you're trying to start it, it's got some coals. What do you do to make it like start going into flame? You blow on it. You don't have to blow on this gummy bear. Because this gummy bear is being supplied oxygen directly from the chemicals itself. So that'll burn in space, that'll burn regardless of air currents, that'll burn inside a rocket, that'll burn through your flesh, that'll just burn through everything. Because the oxygen is right there to support the combustion that's happening, and then the combustion can just, as you saw, just go gangbusters and get completely done. Because it doesn't have to wait for air to bring the oxygen. It has the oxygen, and the faster it reacts, the more oxygen it gets. The more oxygen it gets, the faster it can react, and you've got a whole positive feedback loop there. And hence, gummy bear screaming. The last thing I want to show you for the balancing is, if you have your notes, turn it to this one, number 5. On the sheet I gave you, it will also be on number 5 down. And where'd my little pen? Oh, there. For this, now I didn't go over the rules at first because rules are stupid. If I just gave you the rules, you wouldn't know what we're talking about. Now that you've had some experience at balancing, this will help a little bit. You balance compounds first, and elements last. What page is this? 7, page 7. I should write it in a different color. Only balance one compound at a time. I do see students freeze because they go, if I balance this, that'll change the other thing, and then that'll change that thing, and then they're frozen because so many things are changing. Just one compound or one element at a time, and then do the next one. If you ever get to the point where you balance a compound, and that changes a different compound, so you balance that compound, which changes the first compound, so you balance that compound, and then that changes the other compound, so and then you're just going in endless circles. Stop, erase everything, start over again with a different element. You just started in the wrong spot. It's possible to get in that situation, but this is a method called guess and try. If it doesn't work, you just try somewhere else, it'll always work. Only add coefficients. Never change subscripts. If you have H2 plus O2, what does that make? Makes H2O. You cannot balance, you have to then balance it. You cannot say that, oh, it makes H2O2 just because I want to squish them together, or that balances it. Because now you've turned all the water in the world to hydrogen peroxide, which is also rocket fuel, which also gives off oxygen gas, and now everybody in the world is poisoned.
Isn't it possible for 2H and 2O to make H2?
That wouldn't be the way you'd make it. That particular reaction likely wouldn't do that. So, I mean, I would hesitate to say it was impossible, but I wouldn't say it was likely. If hydrogen and oxygen and or appear in more than one place, so they're in two places on one side and one place on the other side, so they're in three different places, balance them last. What kind of ions are these called? They are anions, but when they're in a big group with a charge. They are covalent. I don't know if you did them last. How many of you were in meta? Did you do polyatomic ions?
Yeah.
Okay. Can often be balanced as a whole group. Double check when you think you're finished. So, I'm running away with myself because given that you guys did lose that block, I'm trying to
Mr. Newford,
finish things along.
what's polyatomic?
Many, poly means many.
Okay.
So polyatomic means many atoms. This is an ion that has many atoms.
Oh, okay.
So that's where the root comes from. He's stealing my chair. Yes?
Sorry, will that count as just like one atom almost? Because the charge is
If it's in if it appears on both sides and it's not broken up in any way, then yes, you can balance it as a whole thing. Okay, I'm not going to show you the one I was going to show you. I just gave you the rules. I'll show it to you next day because I want to get into the lab. So bring your lab book. I'm going to sign off on your lab book while you're there. But let's meet at that end. Is there anybody that needs another copy of the lab sheet? We've done, last day we did all of part one.
yeah, but we're not going to do any reflections, right?
No.
No.
Okay, grab your lab book, come on up. And I'll stop the live stream because now we're starting the lab. And we don't need that going.